Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
Man, folks, what an absolute honor. I mean, in all caps with an exclamation, maybe double exclamation point at the end, to broadcast live from Washington, D.C., guys, right? Just blocks away from, a couple, I hate the word literally because it's overused, but maybe 2 blocks away from the festivities in D.C. When I say festivities, by the way, welcome to the revolution. Freedom Day has arrived. Let the revolution begin. It's almost, isn't it like surreal that this moment has finally arrived where we've lived under this cloud of darkness for so long. And by the way, I'm not just talking about, sorry to just run out of the gate like this on fire, but I think it's important. It's not just the last 4 years, folks, and don't take this the wrong way. It's the last 8. Well, what do you mean? Trump did great his first term. 100%. They ruined his first term with Spygate, the collusion fiasco, the Hunter Biden laptop during the re-election campaign, the D.C. riots and all this other stuff. They ruined it. This just feels different. I'm going to give you what it's my personal perspective. Michael's here too, is producing. Michael's been here longer than me because Michael's father-in-law, the great Sean Duffy, Evita's dad, is in the process of being confirmed as the transportation secretary. So Michael's been at a lot of the events. The energy here is crazy. I just had the CEO of Westwood One sent me a text, the radio company I work with. And he said, how is it down there? I said, it's like a multi-block citywide block party. There's not like a non-MAGA person in sight, which having worked in D.C. for a really long time, I got to tell you, it's just weird. I've never walked the streets of D.C. and candidly felt like I was home. Even when I worked at the White House in the Bush administration, in my prior line of work. But it just feels like there's been a whole takeover of the city, not just ideologically by people too. I met so many nice people. You may be asking too, Dan, I thought you said you were going to go from the studio on Monday. I'm going to explain to you because folks, listen to me. I am never going to BS you why I came up here really at the last minute. Paul and I made a snap decision. We were in Miami yesterday. We're like, we got to go. I'll tell you what's up and what happened. So stand by. Big show today. Lot to cover. Good news, bad news, a whole bunch of breaking news. Michael's going to dip in and out of what's going on today. President went to church this morning, met them at the White House, the former outgoing disaster of a president. President Trump, of course, very classy doing that. Not sure I'd have the same self-control with these guys, but that's why I'm not president. He is. Hey, just got back from a holiday trip. You know what? We were totally prepared with all of our essential medications. Ivermectin, antibiotics, anti-nausea drugs. Where did I get them from? All Family Pharma. Thank you for hooking me up on my trip to Spain. They saved me. Luckily, I was very sick. I had the stuff ready to go. Once you qualify for a prescription, All Family Pharma delivers fast. 2 to 4 days or even overnight if it's urgent. You can stock up now and be ready for just about anything. Just visit allfamilypharma.com/Bongino. Order online, use code Bongino10 for 10% off. They make it really simple. You can customize your order or get a comprehensive package tailored to your needs. You don't need to see a doctor. They evaluate your requests and provide the prescriptions to you that are right for you. It's healthcare for you, not against you. Be proactive. Don't wait. Have this stuff on hand. You're going to need it. Here's what you need to do. Write this down. Go to allfamilypharma.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino10 for 10% off your entire order. Check them out. You're going to love it. All Family Pharma's products are not intended as a substitute for professional medical treatment or advice. Consult with your healthcare provider. We went a little early today, but can't forget the bell. Okay. We had it on loop last time going through our rundown. I was hoping it wasn't like a bell loop to blow me. It was ding, 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 ding. It reminded me of a WWE match where the guy submits and they don't let him go and they keep ringing the bell. So good. We fixed that. Thank you, guys. That's why we do a thorough rundown. Michael's always on top of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got down here last night. And I'm telling you, it's like a citywide block party. You know, I don't exaggerate this stuff. I never have. I've never seen Washington, D.C. like this. There are MAGA hats everywhere. So Paula, who always is very proactive about things, thankfully, because I am not. I am inherently reactive with a lot of stuff. Paula had booked a hotel room for us a long time ago on the assumption we would be here. I had changed my mind for a number of different reasons. I felt like it was really important to get a show out from the home studio. But we were invited to a number of events. Now, because it is important to me to absolutely never bullshit you, some of these events we were invited to, me and Chris from Rumble, and not only invited, but people really want us to come. We're not by people you would consider friendlies. So I had decided to pass. But one of them I thought it was really important to go to. And the reason is, I can't say don't get emotional about things and push for outcomes when I can help advance an outcome by having my voice be heard and then not take it. You may agree, you may not, and that's okay. I mean, I'm here to be authentic to you. I'm not here to bullshit people for clicks. But I felt like one particular event was really important. There's going to be some social media folks there, and I feel like it's important that some of these people hear it directly from me, what happened to me and to you. And they really pushed hard for me and Chris specifically to show up. So I tossed and turned about it. But I decided Sunday in Miami after, 3 or 4 texts where they said, no, we really want to hear your side, that I thought it was important that they do hear it. I'd love to hear, listen, I don't know what you guys think in the chat. You may say, hey, it's a dumb idea, F these people. It's okay. I appreciate and value your opinion. But it's kind of hypocritical for me to stay home and say, don't get emotional, and then to get emotional about it when I can hopefully advance a different outcome in the future. We are going to need some of these people in the next 4 years in a non-emotional, technical, political tactics manner. We are going to need them to advance our message. So that's why I decided to come up. I also want to thank you today for all your hard work. I want to thank Rumble too. The studio up on Capitol Hill is absolutely beautiful. You can see the lighting here is amazing. We're working on the lighting back at home and my other place to make it sharper. But thank you to Rumble Studio. Thank you to the Rumble crew. You guys are awesome. Met Claudio, Alex, the whole crew today. I'll be with Chris, the CEO. And then thank you to all of you for making this day happen. It's so surreal being here. And really, you see up at Capitol Hill now, a lot going on. So we're going to be running some B-roll throughout the show. So that's why we started a little bit early. I have so much to get to. But thank you for all your hard work. I met so many people in the hotel. They could not have been nicer. The selfie time thing was just great. We had like a photo line going. I met Congressman Troy Nehls. And the minute we took a picture, everyone else came over and everybody had the nicest things to say. So I deeply appreciate it. Met a lot of law enforcement too. So thank you guys. All right, first, let's get to some important content. There's a lot going on today, but there's a lot to discuss. There's some big news items. That's why I'm glad you're all tuning in. It's good to see you all. First, let's debunk some serious bullshit, okay? Listen to me. I don't know why ultimately, and I hate to tell you, I don't know, but I can't tell you dispositively why the inaugural festivities were moved from a traditional outdoor Capitol Hill event indoors. There has been a ton of speculation you were well aware of. Is it security reasons? Is it the weather? It is cold. It's pretty damn cold down here, especially for me, a Floridian. Is it a combination of both? Now, to be fair, the Trump team is saying it's absolutely not security related, but this, I can tell you, this theory is absolute bullshit because I'm down here and the city is packed full of Trump people. Throw up that tweet by Murphy if you would, Michael. So here's Chris Murphy from Connecticut, obviously a hack, loser, Democrat. Trump canceled the outdoor inauguration because the mall was going to be empty and embarrassing. All he cares about are the tech bros and the ruling billionaires. So it's better they're the only ones in the room anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, that is bullshit. Michael, you're down here, correct? I'm not crazy. Seriously, folks, there's probably, 100,000 people down here who, I don't know what they're talking about, that the mall was going to be empty. I'm not the greatest judge of crowd size. I'm not going to get into that game. I'm just telling you, You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting someone with a MAGA hat down here. And by the way, they're not even in just one spot. I'm over down by the Marriott over there. It's packed over there too. We barely got out of the car. So I don't know what they're talking about or what city they're in. Oh, look, Mike Pence. Well, I'm sure that's going to go over well. He's there too. I guess they made him. And can you dip into that? Here we go. There's Mike Pence, folks, walking up on things. We'll be dipping in and out of, so no more. You don't need to tune in anywhere. I'm not sure how well that's going to go over. Maybe they, gave each other a fist pound, but whatevs. The city's packed. Michael, do you agree? You can't go anywhere. There is no crowd problems at all. Chris Murphy is making that up. And maybe because Chris Murphy and other Democrats have decided that instead of deal with Donald Trump, they're going to basically shit on Donald Trump. Maybe that's why this New York Post article is so relevant right now, that the Democrat Party is now at a historic level of unpopularity. The left is now more unpopular worldwide than any time since the Cold War. Yes, we have done our homework. We have exposed these people for lying frauds. What have I told you for the last 10 years doing the podcast? The left is full of shit. Nothing they tell you is true on any issue of substance ever. Nothing. It's not 1 out of 100 things are true, 10% are true, 25% are true. Nothing is true. This is what they do. They lie to you all the time. Chris Murphy is making this up. I don't care about crowd size or getting into these arguments. They're just going to distract us from the mission. I'm just telling you I'm down here, and it's total shit. And this is why you are seeing we have a unique opportunity here. We have folks in the chat. How many years do we have to get something done? Don't tell me 4. We do not. We have 2. The president's term is not 4 years. It's 2 2-year terms. Dan, it's the same thing. Yes, mathematically, it's not the same thing politically. We have the midterms coming up. What does that have to do with this? The Democrats are in absolute disarray right now. I've got some video for you coming up. They're all turning on each other. My cannibalism theory, the Dan Bongino cannibalism theory, where the left will start eating each other alive if you just give them time. Folks, chalk it up for the dub. I'm right again, because we're always right on the Dan Bongino Show. That's why we're the #1 live stream in the MAGAverse anywhere by a long shot, because we never bullshit people and we never will. They are eating themselves alive right now. They don't know what to do. Trump kicked their ass. They can't get their sea legs. Their knees are wobbly. We have 2 years to make Freedom Day last and to really leave an lasting impact. I hope the next 2 after that are great too, but I work in 2-year, not 4-year cycles. Here's my cannibalism theory in full effect. Politico, otherwise known as Bullshitico. Here's Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra. Alexandra Pelosi blasts First Lady Jill Biden. So these two are now in a WWE Royal Rumble type event where the Pelosi's and the Obamas and the Clintons hate the Bidens, and the outgoing Biden team finds themselves increasingly isolated. Even Mayorkas is starting to turn on him. Politico, Lady McBiden. What does that mean? So they note fueling the anger is Dr. Jill Biden, famed neurosurgeon, and now public nursing of a grudge toward Pelosi for pushing the president to withdraw from last year's campaign. Pelosi says, this is the daughter, if I was Lady McBiden, I'd put on my big girl pants, play the long game, and think about my husband's legacy. There aren't many people left who have something nice to say about Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi is one of them. The younger Pelosi made clear she was always talking about herself. She was only speaking for herself. Sure, Alexandra. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton arriving now. Are there any stains on that suit? Did Bill Clinton just exit a bathroom? I'm just curious. Folks, I'm just asking questions. My job. I mean, was there a cigar lounge somewhere in the Capitol? Hillary, of course, looks ecstatic to be there. Look at her face with the face. Great. I lost again to Donald Trump. This is fantastic. So this is, we're getting right now, getting together the Capitol Hill ceremonies. You can see we'll be dipping in and out of that. Sorry, my rumble on my phone. I want to make sure I can read you guys. There we go. Get that chat back up and running. Let's see who's commenting here. J. Doley, 82. Less than 2 years, Dan. You're right. We got to move quick. But proving to you the cannibalism theory is real. You saw the Pelosi thing. Oh, wait, let's dip into this. Here's George W. and Laura Bush. I got to be candid with you folks. I'm not sure they're even that happy about being there. Donald Trump has remade the Republican Party away from the old kind of swampy, Bushy mentality. I worked for President Bush. He was a decent guy. I told you I don't get emotional. I don't know how many times I got to say that. The outcomes were just not great. They just weren't. So, oh, look, here's Barack Obama with, I'll notice, sans Michelle. He is by himself, strolling in with the famous Obama walk. Look at him. He's thinking, I can't believe it now. I lost 3 elections in a row to this guy. Had to cheat in the middle one with my boy Joe Biden. He looks happy to be there, too. Obama's like, I can't believe I got to swear. I thought this guy was Hitler, by the way. I thought he was Hitler and Mussolini and a fascist. It's amazing how they all come to pay their respects, given this new era of Hitler. It shows you again that was all bullshit the whole time. Here is the most critical, I think, soundbite of the weekend, though, because it's President Trump. We're just minutes again from him being, the president, but he wasn't even out of office, Joe Biden, this weekend, and his inner circle, his cabinet, is already turning on him. I want you to listen to this soundbite, and then we'll dip back into Capitol Hill. Here's Mayorkas hinting in a weekend interview that, hey, man, it really wasn't me who wanted to open the border. There were basically a wide variety of opinions. Make no mistake, this is him throwing Biden on the bus, saying, I didn't want to do that. Biden told me to do it. This is just the beginning of the shitstorm that's coming once Biden's officially out of office. Watch for yourself.
You think none of those things, if you could go back, you would do differently?
Look, Andrew, yes. And you have to understand something. And this is not specific to government, but to any large organization, including a government administration. People have different views on what the correct policies should be, what the correct operational measures should be. Those disagreements, those different views are voiced, decisions are made, and then everyone marches in unity together. That is the nature of a large organization, and the government is no different.
But just so I'm clear, are you suggesting your own personal views about how to operate this were at odds, or there was a distinction between your personal approach and how you would have wanted to do it and how maybe your bosses wanted to do it?
I don't want to get into the deliberative process. We're one team, and it's one effort, but this is not a revolutionary concept that there are disparate views when one has many people involved in the decision-making process.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? By the way, you'll see on the screen, live coverage up on Capitol Hill. You'll see you got Pete Hegseth there, Lee Zeldin, EPA, Ratcliffe, CIA. You got Scott Turner. You have HUD. You got HHS, RFK, NSA, Michael Walls, AG, Bondi. None confirmed yet, but getting there. You got Elon there. You got a big crowd over there. But did you catch it? Folks, tell me you don't see what's going on here. I know you guys and ladies out there are way ahead of the average political viewer because you watch this show and I read your comments in the chat and on Facebook and elsewhere. Did you catch it? He's already throwing the guy under the bus. He wasn't even out of office yet. What do you think is going to happen when Biden's political power and his political bank account? I'm not talking about cash, cheese, queso, or bread. I'm talking about his political power. Donald Trump has political power, even when he's out of office. His endorsement can change an election. A true social post can change a policy. Biden is absolutely dead in the water when he leaves. He has no political capital, no political bank account, no political power, and even his inner circle loyalists are starting to turn on him. Believe me when I tell you, I obviously disagree with Pelosi, Obama, Clinton, and that inner circle of people, but they still have a lot of whack and the ability to hurt you bad. You do not want the Obama organization, the Clinton mafia, and all of the Pelosi crew, Schumer, and all of these losers coming after you, and then your inner sanctum, Mayorkas and others, start to turn on you. It's only a matter of time before Lloyd Austin and others start to turn on him. You see, we got the members of the Supreme Court coming in now. Obviously, show a unity within the 3 branches of government. Glad they're there. There's Amy Coney Barrett. You see Neil Gorsuch, John Roberts leading the way. One of the more liberal members of the Supreme, one of the more liberal members of the liberal wing of the Supreme Court, Kavanaugh. The great, legendary Clarence Thomas. There he is. Always got to give a hat tip to the OG Clarence Thomas. We love him. Sam Alito, too, almost never lets us down. I hope you guys are okay, by the way, with us bouncing back and forth. Folks in the chat, yes or no? The show's for you, and I just feel like it's important to give you news so you can watch it on demand and it's all still relevant, like my cannibalism theory and the EOs, but also to cover what's going on. You guys okay with that? All right, cool. I see in the chat. Yes. Who said yes there? Big Cody Dog. Thank you, Big Cody Dog. We love you. 114,000 people. Yes, look at it. Michael throwing it on the screen. Yes. Good. This is going to be a fun show today. All right. Back to my cannibalism theory. I say, oh yeah, sorry, I'll get to that in a second. Folks, this is going to be probably the craziest story of the weekend. I don't know if you saw this clip, and I want to get to it before we see the official swearing in, which we'll show you some coverage of that, but there's still people filing in. Mike Johnson did an interview, and did you guys see this clip? Speaker Mike Johnson. A lot of people are saying, well, why didn't Mike Johnson tell us sooner than others? Folks, they did. I don't know if Johnson specifically, but a lot of other people out there warned us that Biden's mental acuity and his state of cognitive disrepair was so severe that people aren't really sure right now who's in charge of the White House. If you didn't see this clip, I want you to watch this. It's not just that they didn't know who was in charge. Mike Johnson says Biden didn't even know about bills and executive orders he himself signed. This is troubling. Probably the craziest story of the day. You got to see it. You be the judge.
And I said, Mr. President, thanks for the moments. This is very important. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about that I've heard and I think you know, and what do we do? But first, real quickly, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, And he looks at me stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President, respectfully, could I go out here and ask your secretary to print it out? We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas. Yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed.
Do you have any idea what a major scandal this is? That the President of the United States signed the most destructive energy resource petrochemical bill we've seen in the last 10 years and had no idea what he was doing? This is a monstrous scandal. And that people around him had to know this? Fair enough. Why didn't they warn us sooner? That's a legitimate beef. A lot of Republicans did. This is a huge scandal. This guy practically destroyed our oil export LNG business and didn't even know he did it. Folks, if this isn't investigated when we leave office, it's going to happen again. But there are a lot of people who are going to be prevented from being at least prosecuted, but not investigated too. I got that coming up next. We'll dip in and out again. The Capitol people are still filing in. Quick break. You having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. It's about the toll poor sleep takes on your body. That's why I've been talking about Beam's Dream Powder for a long time. I use it. It helps me get a deep, restful night's sleep, and it prevents me from getting up all night. Sometimes I fall asleep right, but then I'm up 2 hours later, so it defeats the purpose. They sent me something to try. Been a game changer. I'm looking ahead to 2025 and quality, restful night's sleep where you hear your body. Other sleep aids can cause that next day grogginess, but Beam has a powerful blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It helps you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up deeply refreshed. The ultimate sleep refresh for the new year is here. Try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino, Bongino at checkout for up to 45% off. Folks, it's worth your time. Shop BEAM.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino at checkout for up to 45% off. And you know what? Let's talk about, while we're talking about sleep too, important, let's talk about Helix mattresses. What do I always tell you? Because I'm in a hotel room and the hotel is wonderful. But the problem with Helix mattresses, yes, is you're not going to want to sleep on another one, even in hotels. Pick up a Helix mattress today. You still sleeping on that old uncomfortable mattress? Get rid of it. You're on a mattress 8 hours a night. Sleep is where your body heals. Get yourself the best mattress. Helix, Helix. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off plus 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase. In just a few minutes, the Helix team will learn about your sleep patterns and you'll get a mattress suited right for you. Helix can help you if you sleep too hot, you're a side sleeper, a back sleeper, tall, short, mattresses for kids, they have them all. Right now, again, go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off plus 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase. helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off plus 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase. Get yourself a really good mattress. Sleep tight, sleep deeply. That's where your body fixes itself. All right, back to the show. Let's dip in quickly here just to Capitol Hill. You see Jared Kushner, you see there. You have Lara Trump, Marco Rubio. There's Zuckerberg. You see Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook there. Jeff Bezos, that's Sundar, I believe from Google. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary nominee. Is that Laura Sanchez next to Jeff Bezos? Yeah, it is. That's his. Is I think married yet? I'm not. Anybody know in the chat? I'm not really sure. I don't follow like the page 6 things on who's married with and who's not. But it's a little interesting, right, to see these tech titans. And just so you know, I got a lot to get to, but this kind of goes back to the beginning of the show, and I think Trump is playing this the same way. It makes no sense right now to get emotional about this stuff. We need to fix an outcome. We were censored in the past using some of these exact same people. Jeff Bezos, Google, Sundar, YouTube. I'm still banned from YouTube for telling you masks don't work, but I'm not emotional about it. I need an outcome. And if these people are going to come and, kiss Trump's ass and kiss the ring and are going to fix this bullshit, then you know what? Let them fix it. I mean, what am I going to say? No, keep censoring us? I need to win. I need to tactically win. And I'm not going to get emotional about this stuff. I'm sorry. It's, there's too much destruction going on the way out the door. What do I mean by that? I don't mean to be depressing on such a wonderful day, but this is a news show and I got to give you both sides. I promise we're going to end with the litany of good news because the winning, trust me, has just begun. I don't know if you even caught all these stories, but I told you this guy had the weekend and right up to now, Joe Biden, thankfully this is ending, the ability to destroy this country, and he's taken it. This is one of the most disturbing things he's done yet. Kyle Griffin, who has blocked me on X, which is good because I don't like this guy anyway, but he puts in there, breaking. President Biden just pardoned Mark Milley, Anthony Fauci, the January 6th committee members of Congress and their staffers, and the police officers who testified before the J6 committee. Biden says these pardons are not an acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Then why would you need a pardon? Folks, this is some serious bullshit. Now, I would be remiss if I did not tell you that a preemptive pardon for a crime you're saying never happened. He notes there are exceptional circumstances and I cannot do nothing, even when individuals have done nothing wrong. If they did nothing wrong, how in a court, unless you're acknowledging the government court system is completely political like it was against Donald Trump, if they did nothing wrong, what are you worried about? There's a question about the constitutionality of this, and there's a way to test it. Anybody know? All of these individuals, Milley, Fauci, Liz Cheney, Kinzinger, and others, should be brought up to Capitol Hill, and if the pardon is constitutionally valid, there's no threat of prosecution, correct? So if there's no threat of prosecution, there is zero reason whatsoever that they can cite the Fifth Amendment as a reason not to testify against prosecution because there's no threat of prosecution. You can't have it both ways, bro. What I'm getting at is even if these pardons do turn out to be constitutionally valid, which I doubt, then this investigation cannot stop. Because, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is power. And if we don't figure out what Anthony Fauci's role in the COVID disaster and scandal, not just the closing of the schools, the lying about the masks, the lying about the vax, but the funding of a potential Chinese bioweapon that killed millions of people around the world, then, dude, it's going to happen again. This does not stop congressional committees and others from investigating. And I don't want to hear shit from the swampy, rhino-ass Republican crowd. It's the past. It's time to move on. It's not the past. It's a statement about the role of weaponized big government in our lives, from everything from the prosecution of Donald Trump to the weaponization of government against landlords and keeping our kids out of school. Bullshit. We should absolutely still investigate this. They should be hauled up to Capitol Hill, put under oath, and forced to testify. And there'll be no pleading the fifth. Here's Adam Kinzinger himself, crying at him, captain of the Rhinos, absolute life loser zero. Here's a little quickie montage of Adam Kinzinger saying, what would you need a pardon for if you're not guilty of anything? Gee, I don't know, Adam. Maybe you can answer that question now. Check this out.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
Yep, I agree. I'm not asking for a pardon. What do I need a pardon for? I don't need a pardon. Matter of fact, if they were to prosecute me for one of their fabricated Trump-level crimes they make up out of thin air, like the fake fraud case with no victims up in New York, you're only going to add to my audience and our power. This is the most powerful MAGA show out there by far by prosecuting me and making a martyr out of us. I don't need a pardon. And neither should Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, or others. Why didn't they just turn it down? Why didn't they just... You're telling me, seriously, with a straight face, you're going to tell me that they didn't know this was coming? Michael, you need a pardon? I don't think so. Michael doesn't need a pardon. I don't need a pardon. Evita doesn't need a pardon. Yeah, Michael's like, well, I don't know, man. It's a thing back in high school. I think the statute of limitations ran out. Paula don't need no pardon. All right, now I want to get to the good news, but the ceremony's going to start. Dip in there quickly. You'll see they got everything set up. Looks kind of, oh, there we go. There's Snoop Douggie Doug and famed neurosurgeon Dr. Jill Biden coming in. Look at them. That's of course, it's just the picture of dignity. Dr. Jill Biden, I wonder if she just got out of surgery. Did she perform a neurosurgery? Although we got the family coming. Oh, look at Barron, man. Barron looking sharp. Is Barron like 7 feet tall or what? My gosh, Michael's like 7 feet tall. And I think Barron, look at him, he's taller than Eric. And Eric's a big guy. If you ever stood next to Eric, Eric's particularly tall. So again, we'll be dipping in and out of this. You know, let's take our last break of the show so we can run through this unimpeded. We appreciate our sponsors. Of course, they're here to talk to you and they keep the show free. So we deeply appreciate it. Blackout Coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell by the energy in today's show, I did what I do every morning. I had a piping hot fresh of bold but never bitter Blackout Coffee. I even take it on the road with me in their ready to drinks because I love it. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for 20% off your first order. It is the official coffee of the Bongino Army. Why? Because they're not woke. They hate that woke crap. Matter of fact, the owner of the company loves America so much, he puts 2A on some of the covers of his coffee packages. What does that stand for? It's not an appendix. Second Amendment. He loves this country. They use premium grade coffee beans. They ship within 48 hours of roasting. They love the country, but they make great coffee too. They're not asking you to buy anything but a premium level coffee with premium level beans. The coffee is delicious. I love it. I have 2 to 3 cups a morning. Bold, never bitter. Their flavors are incredible. They have regular, they have espresso, cinnamon French toast, blueberry crumble, dark chocolate. Absolutely incredible. Give it a shot. Do me a favor, go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. Again, blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Thank you, Blackout Coffee. We appreciate it. Again, dipping back in there. You see now they got the family set up. You see Don Jr. there. You see Ivanka. You see the tech bros in the back. There's Elon next to them. So they're getting ready to roll, and we'll be dipping back into this. But I did want to get to the good news. You think I'm going to leave you today? I mean, the show just started, number one. But you think I'm going to leave you today on Freedom Day, on Emancipation Day, the day the revolution for freedom begins, with any kind of bad news? No, we cover that stuff because it's part of the news cycle and it shows you what we're combating. But folks, the good news is the winning has already begun. I want you to check this out. Washington Post, John Hudson. Scores of career State Department diplomats resign before Trump's inauguration. Trump's team requested high-level resignations as the president-elect prepares a sharp break with the Biden administration. Again, the famed Dan Bongino, yes, it is time. It is. People are policy, brothers and sisters, in the vast and growing Bongino army. People are policy. No, Dan, policy is policy. Policy is not policy. The Constitution is just a suggestion to the left. It doesn't matter to them. I prove it to you over and over when I talk about the student loan debacle. There's nothing in the Constitution that says Biden can steal your money to pay off some woman named Marcy's student loans. But he did it. Supreme Court told him not to do it. He did it anyway. Dan, how can that happen? Because, folks, the Constitution is just a suggestion to the left. People are policy. If you get people in there who believe in the Constitution, we will get back to a constitutional republic. The fact that these State Department folks are resigning en masse says what? Some of you in the chat will pick up on this. The Trump team learned from its first term exactly that lesson. People are policy, not policy. People are policy. So that these people are walking out the door is absolutely fantastic news. State Department diplomats can do a lot of damage. Go back and read my book, Spygate. You get it from the library, whatever, as you know, I'm not trying to sell you books or anything like that. But you'll see how the State Department was a key component in making sure the media ran with the fake Russia collusion hoax. The State Department had a key role in that. It is extremely powerful. You should be glad they're resigning en masse. Here's another piece of good news out of the New York Post. Illegal immigrants, who, by the way, they broke the law by coming here illegally. That's why it's called illegal immigration. Worried migrants flee New York City shelters as Trump ICE raids loom. It's better to leave before. Again, people or policy. Folks, the policy hasn't even changed yet. Trump has not signed a single executive order because he's not sworn in yet. He will be by the time many of you watch this, but that's not the point. The point is he's not right now, and migrants are already leaving. Why? Because there's new people in there. Tom Homan and others, Kristi Noem at DHS. You are going to see a change in direction and a massive one moving forward. And that's the reason people are leaving who are here illegally, or at least leaving the shelters and finding that they're not going to get a big warm and fuzzy. We should not. What, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, answer this question for me. What level of illegal immigration should we accept? How many? Any ideas? You know what the official position of the Dan Bongino show, i.e. me, eponymously named, is? Any ideas? How many in the chat? How many illegal immigrants should we accept? Let's see who gets it first. There we go. Lori Thomas T. None. Zero. You are correct. We accept zero. That is, we either have laws or we don't. Zero. Who said that? T. Ranum. Yes. Zippo. Zero. Now, does that mean we're going to have zero illegal immigrants? No, of course not. Is that an acceptance of defeat? Absolutely not, folks. We're human beings. You know, how many murders do we accept? Zero. Are there still murders? Yes, because it's hard to predict human behavior. This is a Minority Report. And people, unless they've broken the law, you can't go out and lock them up preemptively. This isn't Tom Cruise's Minority Report. Hey, the precog said you're going to commit a murder across the border. However, when you aspire to zero illegal immigration, rather than the Biden team that aspires to a whole country full of illegal immigrants, you're going to see a massive drop because people are policy. I wanted to get to this too. This was Fox coverage the other day. I don't know if you saw this, but Trump is setting up a signing station at Capital One Arena for today. You guys hear this story in the chat? This is total personnel. Who said that? Speak the truth, McGroin. Yeah, brother. Total personnel warfare. Total personnel warfare. People or policy. There's Newt Gingrich. You'll see on the screen right now. You got a whole bunch of people. Look at it. Who is that? Is that the old speaker? That is, right? My eyes aren't that great. Yeah, look at that. You got a whole bunch of people like paying homage. You got Kevin McCarthy there too. You got the whole crew, man. You got a lot of rhinos. Oh, look, it's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Another one knee deep in the whole Spygate affair. There's Don Jr. and Ivanka looking great, looking serious up there. Barron, again, you see him on the screen. A total personnel warfare. But getting back to what point I was going to make, there is no one who understands the showmanship of politics like Donald Trump. Folks, he's a unique figure. And again, that's another word I hate because it's unbelievably overused, which is kind of ironic when you think about it. Nobody understands modern politics and the showmanship of it like Donald Trump. The word out there is at Capital One Arena, he's going to do a signing ceremony in front of a massive crowd, which is, I don't believe, ever been done before, with this desk, and he is going to sign a bevy of EOs. Ladies and gentlemen, not only total personnel warfare, thank you, speak the truth, but another one, shock and awe. That's all I want to see. I want to see the Dan Bongino, now soon to be implemented shock and awe theory of government, which resembles one of our other theories of government, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots theory. That was about appointments. This is about policy. The second they start bitching about one EO, you sign another one. And the second they start writing about that, bang, you sign another one. I got this. I was just in Miami and saying, just keep signing, just keep signing. Here's Fox News coverage of what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, shock and awe, kids. Shock and awe. Check this out.
What else do you expect to see on day one from the president?
Well, once again, he is hitting the ground running. A number of the executive orders, as we understand it, based on our conversations, not just with the president, but with a number of his team members, he's going to issue a whole bunch. His arm is going to be sore by the time he's finished signing his name time and time again. I don't think this is a hidden secret or anything, but there could very well be 100 of them.
Now, Michael, wouldn't you agree we wish nothing but the best of health on President Trump? Of course, right? But, Michael, would you also agree that nothing would please me more than tomorrow President Trump coming in with a sling on his arm because it's swollen? He's right, he's a righty. Would you not agree? Folks, my arm's a little swollen. I've got this sling on. I think he should do that. Even if he doesn't need it, I think he should come out with the sling on and go, folks, it would be like when he came out with the sanitation vest on, the orange sanitation vest, which was amazing. He should come out with a sling of, you know what? It hurts. I signed 200 EOs, fixing everything from the border to the disastrous energy policies to Biden's Title IX bullshit to the SEC targeting of Elon to Cuba being pulled off the terror list to economic, to petrochemicals, to energy. I signed so much, I've got to put this sling on my arm because the winning hurts. Folks, the winning actually hurts. Here we go. This is what it should look like tomorrow. Should walk out like, don't you agree? Strap right. Man, you know what? It should be like, it shouldn't even be a formal sling. It should be like the First Blood, John Rambo from the First Blood thing, when he just like makes it out of a canvas sack and he sticks his hand in. I can't do it. The winning is just painful, folks. My arm is actually swollen. He should flex and be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to auto sign the rest of them. That's what winning looks like. Here is an informal list of some of the proposed EOs. Obvious executive orders, of course. Obviously, we'll know about it more. The details. Jackie Heinrich, who's an excellent reporter at Fox. Oh, wait. Hold on. We'll go back. We got to dip into this. Usha Vance. Can we pop into that? There's Usha Vance, our now second lady, looking lovely. For the absolutely stunning Melania Trump with, I don't know outfits or designers, but looks just incredibly classy, as she always does. Ladies and gentlemen, the classiest first lady I think we've ever had. Melania Trump. You know when I say that? Because again, I'm not emotional. Melania Trump and I don't agree about every political issue and stuff, but there's no question she brings dignity and class to the office. Looks amazing. She's got a black type fancy hat with some white in it, and then a trench coat type outfit. I'm not one for designers, folks. I got my Dan Bongino. You know who designed this? Paula. So Freedom and Liberty Dan Bongino shirt. So you get the point. That's not clothes. I have to go to a black tie event, and folks, you agree or not? I'm wearing a black suit with a black. Is that okay? Do you guys know black tie stuff? I'm wearing a black tie with a black suit. Is that okay? Michael says it's okay. Folks in the chat, is that day class A? Am I like showing up like a bum? I promise it's a nice suit. It's not like a cheapo. But I don't want to do black. I'm not interested. That's not my thing. And I'm definitely not wearing no bow tie. Maybe one day if someone asked me to play James Bond in a movie, which is never going to happen, I'll put the bow tie on. But I'm sorry. I think a black tie and a black suit's enough. Who the hell's going to know the difference? I haven't been to a black tie event in so long, and I don't even remember the last time I wore a tuxedo. I think it was with the Secret Service when they used to make you wear these poorly fitting tuxedos for black tie events. Okay, let me go back to that Jackie Heinrich tweet. Sorry, folks. You know I get distracted easily. List of the executive orders: close the border to illegals via proclamation, declare a national emergency, cartels, designated foreign terrorist organizations, reinstituting remain in Mexico, and catch and release. This will be absolutely outstanding. Unleash Alaskan energy. Thank the Lord. Terminate Biden's energy policies, return federal workers to in-person work, strengthen control over senior government officials, merit-based hiring reviews, suspending security clearances for the 51 tyrants who signed that ridiculous laptop letter. Thankfully, end all DEI programs across the federal government, an absolute divisive disgrace. Establish a new DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. The leftists threatened to sue about that right away. Declare a national energy emergency, pause offshore wind leases, withdraw from the Paris disastrous climate accords, and finally, direct all agencies and departments to remove all federal actions that increase costs for families and consumers. I think that's fantastic. Stephen Miller, who's an excellent advisor to President Trump, apparently has been briefing members about what's coming up on the border. You'll see this coming up here. And he's been here we go. Oh, thank you, Michael, for dipping in. You see now Biden, Kamala Harris dipping in there. Biden looks confused. As you can see from Joe Biden, would you guys agree he's curious as to where he is right now? He's been told, follow the guy in front of you. He has no idea who that is. That is the Democrat minority leader on the House side, Hakeem Jeffries. Biden's been told, he's talking to Kamala, who's this guy in front of me that I've been told to follow. There's probably, let's look at the back of Hakeem Jeffries here. Hakeem Jeffrey has a sign on the back. It says, follow here with an, I'm kidding. Fact checkers. I'm not sure if you're still in business after Facebook dumped you. Or said they dumped you. I'm not sure. But of course, we're just kidding. But he doesn't know where he's going, Joe Biden. He looks confused, him and Kamala Harris. You see the look at his face? I'm not exaggerating, by the way. He genuinely looks confused as to where he's actually going. Here's a tweet about Stephen Miller from Alex Salvi. Talking about all of these blitz of executive orders that are going to happen. You can read it, but it's going to be a big deal. This stuff is going down, folks, and it's happening right now. Oh, there he is, J.D. Vance. That's good to see. We're just moments away from him being the vice president of the United States. Folks, a guy I supported early, publicly. I think you all know that. Some of you had a different opinion about other candidates. As you know, I value your opinion. I have my own. I felt strongly about it. I think JD understands and has a finger on the pulse of the direction of the Republican Party better than a lot of politicians do. And I'm thinking, and I was thinking at the time, it's from, if you ever watch Hillbilly Elegy, how hard JD Vance grew up. Did you guys see, you folks in the chat, have you watched that on Netflix or elsewhere? I know some of you don't like Netflix, but his movie and book, Hillbilly Elegy, about how he grew up. Whether you like or don't like JD, that's up to you. I'm not here to tell you who to like. I'm just saying, I think you'll respect him a lot more when you watch what he went through with the drug problem with his mom. It's something, sadly, I'm, all too familiar with. That still digs at me sometimes. I got a lot more to get to, so don't go anywhere. Like I said, we'll be dipping in and out of coverage here. Folks, not just should we still investigate the people involved with these pardons, Mark Milley, Fauci, the J6 committee, we still don't have answers, ladies and gentlemen, on the pipe bomber, why the Secret Service text disappeared. Many people have been asking me about, the Secret Service and the potential appointment of Sean Curran. I covered that on Friday. I know Sean personally, good, decent human being. He's a good husband, a good father to his kids. Whether he's the right guy or not, we're going to wait for outcomes, folks. I can't let my personal feelings get in the way. I've already made my feelings known about the position. I've already told the president personally, I don't think he'd have any problem me sharing the phone call, that if they need any kind of advice or guidance on the potential future of the Secret Service, I'm here. I'm not here to be, it's his presidency. It's his decision what to do. It's not mine. My only interest is in helping them advance the football and keeping this guy safe. Having said that, there is absolutely, oh, there he is. Yes, the boss. This is good to look at this. Here he is. The Secret Service, his Secret Service code name last time was not the Emperor, but a couple guys used to jokingly call him the Emperor because the way he walks in the room. There he is. Is this not great to see? Folks in the chat, I got a favor. Blow up this chat. I hate to melt down Rumble today. Yes, some of you beat me to the punch. American flags in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. The boss has arrived. The now moments away from being the 47th president of the United States. There is the lovely Melania being escorted in by a military escort. This is just, I'm not going to do a Lawrence. I'm feeling going down my leg, because it's tough to say you're not going to get emotionally like outcomes. And we haven't seen any outcomes yet. He hasn't even sworn in, but we worked hard, folks, for this moment. We, notice I didn't say me. I can't vote, 87 million times, okay? I can vote once. I asked you guys and ladies for a favor. I said, go out and grab 10 people and bring them with you on Election Day. And you did. And that's why this moment is here right now. And my gosh, that's good to watch. Even if you're watching on demand, you get to relive this over and over. Or on Apple or Spotify, we thank you so much. It's been so good to be here throughout this whole process. It's just... watching it happen again is very surreal, and I'm sorry to keep repeating it, but getting back to what I was talking about, we should still investigate Fauci, Milley, and others, get them under oath. But there's also reports out there, leading report and others are reporting that the House Oversight Committee, Jim Comer, is saying that they're going to investigate employees of the FBI, DOJ, IRS, and SEC who put up roadblocks to its inquiries into the Biden family. Good. None of these people should get away with it, or else what's going to happen, folks? Yes, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. This is what happened in the first term. There is an excellent, is this in the newsletter, this Crimel, whatever article it is? Please read this article. It's a Substack. It is worth your time. Maybe not today, but wait, let's dip into this. Here's Biden again, looks lost. Someone told him, follow the lady to your left. He's like, I don't really know this lady. Is that my wife? Oh, look at it. Oh, look, you know why they're clapping? They're clapping because they're like, thankfully, we're done with this idiot. There's Steve Witkoff, our Middle East envoy in the background. Look, Apple's Tim Cook is there too. Kristi Noem right behind him, our nominee for DHS secretary. All right, with the applause on this guy, I hope they're only applauding because he's leaving. This guy really, I don't need to see his face at any event as majestic as today's. Okay, look, Reverend Kane, you're wrong, he doesn't even know where he is. He has no idea why people are clapping. If you all are missing this live, by the way, this is terrific. I love dipping into the commentary. Go to Bongino.com/newsletter, please. Follow our newsletter. It's absolutely free. We won't spam your inbox. And read this article. It's about the first Trump term administration and how people or policy, how they did everything they could to lie to people because Trump was an outsider and his team wasn't as familiar with the machinations of government as other people who've been career politicians were. So they talk about how staffers would lie. It's a fascinating article to the Trump appointees and tell them they couldn't do stuff. It gives a number of examples that are really disturbing. That's not going to happen this time. Throw up that part 2 to this. That career employees in DOJ refused to prosecute cases they ideologically disagreed with, even when the facts showed clear legal violations. Civil rights staffers refusing to work on cases involving discrimination against Asian Americans at school and protecting nurses from being forced to participate in abortions. They lied to the Trump team. That's not going to happen this time. We got J.D. Vance coming in now. Again, moments away from being our vice president. Lovely Usha off his left shoulder behind. Don Jr. off the right shoulder. Bezos right behind Don Jr. behind that Elon. See Howard Lutnick there as well. Just a really majestic moment. JD just minutes away from being sworn in as vice president. Of course, the second in line for the presidency. Folks, we still have a lot of open questions while we're watching this and getting ready for the ceremony. We still have a lot of open questions that I'm not willing to let go. Again, Fauci, the J6 committee, the pipe bomber, and others. But just getting back to the Secret Service, the potential appointment of Sean Curran as director, I haven't seen anything official yet. It seems like it's pretty much a done deal. A lot of people in the Secret Service are already talking about the transition. But one thing we have to get to the bottom of immediately, I'm going to play a clip from Tucker Carlson's show here. He had the great Sean Davis on, is what the hell happened to Butler? Folks, we still have no explanation as to why this would seem to be a kid, how he had all this high-level degree of kind of executive function to be able to pull this off, and nobody seems to know if he was working with anyone still. I'm not buying it. Check this out.
So almost exactly 5 months ago, the Republican presidential candidate shot in the face on camera. The man who apparently did it is killed. The world stops. History changes. But the one thing that doesn't happen is any accounting of what that was. Who was this guy? How did this happen? And even now, on the cusp of Trump's inauguration, it's disappeared. I haven't heard anybody ask those questions. I've heard some dark mutterings. And so you're one of the people who I think was on the story at the very beginning in a rational but insistent way. And so I thought it'd be worth asking, like, what was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen an incident of that magnitude disappear from the news so quickly.
Yes.
We got what, maybe a week?
We ever going to get an answer on that? It's kind of important, folks. And can I bring up something else that's not on anybody's radar right now either? Hey, I'm asking, like, Michael's going to go, no, you can't. This is really important. This is not one of these throwaway stories. We need answers on that, and the next Secret Service director, if it's Sean Curran or anybody else, needs to get answers on that. And I better see on week 1, month 1, I'll give you a little bit of time, week 1, month 1, and a full account of why the January 6th pipe bomber text disappeared. I'll be all over if it doesn't come out. All over it. Wait, let me go dip in here. There he is. There he is, the boss, walking in the room, shaking Joe Biden's hand, being very courteous, which he is because he's a gentleman. Barron shaking Joe Biden's hand too. See JD there. Donald Trump getting ready for the big moment here. This is again just a transformational moment in modern American history. There hasn't been an incoming president with the political capital Mr. Donald J. Trump, now soon to be President Donald J. Trump, has had in a long time. And ladies and gentlemen, we got 2 years to switch this place around. But just, getting back to my point, don't overlook who is going to head the diplomatic security service. You're like, what the hell is that? This is important. If my vision and the vision of many other change agents for changing the Secret Service is implemented, then the Secret Service is only going to be responsible for threat investigations against the president, security for the president and their family, and the vice president. That's it. The Secret Service right now, which is ridiculous, by the way, is responsible for every foreign head of state security when they come to the United States. That has to go. That should immediately be turned over to the Diplomatic Security Service. That's going to be Marco Rubio at State Department. That's his Secret Service. They are excellent agents. They know what they're doing. There's going to need a massive expansion over there, but I would consider advising on that as well. They have to take foreign heads of state, all of them, get that out of the Secret Service's wheelhouse. So DSS, don't overlook that either. That is going to be a very, very critical appointment moving forward if transformational change is supposed to happen within the United States Secret Service. By the way, we will have a radio show today. Some of you were asking. I saw in the chat, and I was reading some of your Facebook messages. Jim will be in Dallas. I'm moving right next door because Russell Brand's coming into the Rumble studio here at 12 to do his show. So I'm going to be moving right next door for the radio show. There will be a radio show at 12. But I wanted to get to one last story. Just dip in quick. I'll show you just so you don't think you're missing anything right now, folks. It's Amy Klobuchar up there right now, just rambling on probably about how Donald Trump is a fascist Nazi or something like that, making themselves look ridiculous. Who knows what the hell she's saying. But it hasn't started yet. We'll be dipping in and out in the radio show as well if you want to watch that on Rumble. We'll be covering that live the entire day. But I'd be remiss if I did not address again what happened with TikTok this weekend. Donald Trump, the TikTok, I got a text from my daughter. My daughter is 21. She's an adult. She likes TikTok. I'm not going to lie to you about it. I've warned her about the ramifications of it, folks. You know, I use TikTok. I use it to prepare the show. I'm very careful about where I use it because it is a CCP affiliated app and there is data theft that goes on. However, I was never for the ban of TikTok. You can go back and look. Because I know what they do, I know who they work with, and I've decided to take proactive measures and use the platform because it is helpful for me with show prep. Donald Trump put out a True Social post and is being widely credited with saving the platform. Some people disagree, notably Senator Tom Cotton, who want this thing gone right now. He said, I'm asking companies to not let TikTok stay dark. He's going to issue an executive order today. He wants to see the U.S. at 50% ownership in a joint venture. I'm an equity holder at Rumble. I am not a manager here at Rumble. I have suggested to Chris many times that we should be involved in any of that. What they decide to do is up to them. But TikTok should, I agree with him 100%, at minimum, be 50% American owned. I think it should be 100%. But the deplatforming of it, I don't agree with. Some of you disagree. I don't. I think we should be warned. You are warned. You can look it up on by yourself what they do. You don't have to worry about that with Rumble, of course, but TikTok, it is a problem and a significant one. All right, folks, I really appreciate you all tuning in today. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's Freedom Emancipation Day. We are reclaiming our country. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of it. I'm honored you're a part of it. I am down here. I'll be down here till tomorrow morning. The show will be back live from the home studio. I'm dipping out about 5:30 tomorrow morning. I am going to give you tomorrow so you know what to expect the rest of the week. I'm going to give you a full and honest recount of my experience at some of these galas and events that I plan on attending. I understand if some of you think, hey, you shouldn't go to these things, fully understand. I think I need to have our voice heard. We were targeted by many of these companies. They want to talk. There's no harm in talking, okay? I want to hear what they have to say. I'll give you a recount tomorrow of how they go. I'll be with Chris from Rumble, who's obviously very concerned about censorship too. Please download the Rumble app on Freedom Day. We'd appreciate it. It is free. Or go to rumble.com/Bongino. Give us a follow. We're almost at 3.5 million followers. We're at 3.48. Help us get there. And then on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, most importantly, give us a follow there, The Dan Bongino Show. We deeply appreciate it. I'll see you on the radio show on Rumble in just a few minutes. And I'll see you back here tomorrow live at 11 a.m. Happy Freedom Day. Reclaim your freedom. Reclaim your country. And thank you for everything you did to make this day a reality. See you soon.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.